Okay, let's talk about the next part. So, let's talk about our first coverage, right? Does anyone remember what coverage red was? Help me out. Cover 3, thank you. 3, right? What does that mean when we say cover 3? Someone tell me. 3 deep, right? 3 means 3 deep. It means we're having one safety. And who do you think are the other two? The corners. Yeah, nice call. Okay, so let's talk about our alignments. You just saw it on the board, so it's pretty simple, right? Now I want to start talking about techniques while we're talking. I know none of the D-line guys are here. Hi, at home. Yeah. So the nose is in a 0 tech. Okay, that means he's head up on the center. The 2 ends are in 5 techniques. Now, just to throw you up, we're going to have a linebacker here besides Eddie. You're a linebacker, right? So tell me what gap the ends are responsible for.
They're responsible for J's.
A, B, C. C gap. Okay? Got it now? A gap, B gap, C gap. Just count it out. Cool. There's the mic. He's in a double 0. That means right head up on the center. The mic is also allowed to cheat a little bit if you can't see. Sometimes you get the center and the quarterback and the running back all on the line and it's hard to see, so I just move a little bit to one side. And we also have the Lou and the Raw are in a 50 tech. Cool? Now, the spike and the bandit are what we call apex positions, and you guys will learn this at practice. But what an apex position is basically, see that number 2 receiver? It's not drawn up very well here, so just trust me. If the number 2 receiver and the end man on the line of scrimmage, all you do is you get linebacker depth 5 yards deep and you split the difference. Okay? So, almost good. So between this guy and this guy, right there in the middle, it'll be about 3 yards outside, 5 yards deep, depending on how wide they align. And on the other side, there, bandit, the same thing, apex. Now, the corner in zone coverage, okay, we have some exceptions, but in zone coverage, you're going to be 5 to 7 yards in an open stance. Now what that means is if he's my receiver, right, I'll be 5 to 7 yards deep, and I'll actually be turned in looking at the football. So I'm going to teach you a new technique this year. If you ever watch Champ Bailey play, he's the one who kind of perfected and started this thing in the NFL, if you knows who Champ Bailey is. It's a shuffle technique, and what it allows you to do is first to see everything. Because instead of being turned where you have to turn your head like this, right? You're turned here so you can see the whole play develop. And the second thing it allows you to do is, because you're the deep safety, it allows you to get deep quick, right? It's just turn and run. There's no back pedal involved. So there's no worry about someone breaking your cushion. And we'll get into more detail with that. But basically you're 5 by 7 in open stance, same thing. And then the free safety, anytime you're a deep safety, you're 10 to 12 yards. Cool? You want to take a picture of that?
I figured we'd get a playback.
You are going to get a playback after this. Yes. So that's what I just talked about. Apex position, 5 yards deep. Split the difference between the inside receiver and what we call the EMAL, which is the end man on the line of scrimmage. Okay? 5 yards deep. This is for anybody that's going to play safety or anybody that's going to play linebacker needs to know this because you'll all play the apex position except for the mic. Cool? But the mic should know it anyways. Deep safety, 10 to 12 yards deep, okay? If you're the middle safety, then you're going to stagger the center, right? Like I just said. Get on one side of the center so you can see what's going on. You can cheat to the wide side if it's trips, that's fine. Just get in the middle of whatever the formation is. If you're in Rio, which is something we haven't talked about yet, but basically if you're in 2 safeties, then you're going to be over number 2. Remember how we talked about that numbering? 1, 2? Okay, that's why we need to know this. You need to know where to line up. And we'll go over the rest of this later, but it's there for you. So we have a couple of different coverage checks, Rio, nail, sink. We'll talk about those in a second. Corner, like I said, 5 to 7 yards deep. And then we're talking about if you're in Rio, open stance. And as I told you, there's a couple different checks, guys, and we'll go over those in a second. But I wanted to have this all on one page so you could see this. Now, let's talk about the run responsibilities. Okay? Stopping the run, the first goal in our defense. If we can stop the run, it's great. That means they have to throw the ball every play. And we like when they throw the ball every play because that means we have 8 guys standing up. No one wants to throw on us. If people start throwing on us, that means that we're not doing our job because we have enough people in coverage. It should be impossible. Now, First thing to talk about is the nose, okay? Since the nose is standing right in front of the center, right, he doesn't have a responsibility yet, okay? I know you can see up there what he actually does. But what we're going to tell the nose, if you, coach, come be my center, okay? So here's my center, I'm the nose, right? And just zone left. Now, as a nose, right, what I would think to do is to step and try to beat him to this A gap, okay? But what happens is if I'm in this A gap, right, first of all, I have to be pretty badass to be able to beat the center because he knows when the snap count is, okay? The second thing I have to say is that if I'm in this gap, where's the Mike got to be? In the backside one, which is kind of weird, isn't it? The linebacker not being able to chase the ball. So we tell this guy, go back, and we tell this guy he's just going to get beat. And he's going to stay on the backside shoulder of the center in the A gap. So once he steps, I'm going to step right here on his backside shoulder. I'm the backside A gap. Wherever he goes, I can get beat. Now that means that we can play somebody who's a little slower here, who might be more physical, and that means we can also play someone that has trouble getting a first step off. See, we're going to get beat on purpose. It's a really nice addition because teams are planning on him taking that step here, right? They're going to plan all their blocking schemes for him trying to get front side. So he's the A gap backside. Obviously, we just talked about this. C gap ends. Now, Mike is the play side A gap, which means wherever the ball goes, wherever that you're reading that running back, wherever he goes, you go. Inside. Pretty simple, right? Linebackers, you'll love this defense because you can flow to the ball. There's not really much of that backside staying back and looking for cutbacks and stuff. We take care of it all with other people. You can go get. It's basically go get ball. It's a really easy defense. The Lou and the Rob are my B gap plays, right? So I've got everything covered, right? 2 A gaps, 2 B gaps, 2 C gaps. Cool? So, if in case they have a tight end or if they have a receiver coming to block me, my spike and my bandit are my D gap players. Just an extra guy out there. And then I've also got contained. And the free safety, we say you run the alley. Has anyone ever heard that before? Basically, all that means is that the alley is that little path between wherever you're standing and where the ball is going to cross the line of scrimmage. So, if it's an outside run, you'll end up running right here. See that little alley where no one's there? It's just that open spot. And a lot of times you'll end up making the play if it gets strung out. All right, moving along. Now we're going to talk about pass responsibilities, if I can get this to work. Cool. So we're going to cover 3, right? Obviously, these 3 guys are going to rush. I'm pretending that we're just in basic base coverage. This is stack. Stack's our front. Red's our coverage. 2 words. Stack, red. You getting all this? Yeah. It'll come to you real quick, I promise. Okay, so my linebackers in stack red are my curl cross guys. Now, I think you probably guys have heard it called a million different ways. You got the hook zone, you got curl zone. I call it the curl cross. The reason why I call it that is that you're going to take your drop at a 45-degree angle, or the mic, you're going to turn towards the side that the quarterback is dropping to, so towards the side that he opens up to, and you're going to drop to your 12-yard curl zone. But if someone crosses your face, you're going to knock the shit out of them. Right? So we don't want people crossing the formation. Because the one thing that can hurt us in the pass game is people to run all the way across our formation because we're not reading it. Cool? That's why we say curl cross. Number 2, hook to flat. What this means for you guys is basically, see that number 2 receiver? If he runs deep, you're going to wall him off. And I'll show you how to do all this. It's very easy. Walling him off means you're going to put your pads on it. You're going to hit him. You're going to give your free safety time to be able to cover somebody. Okay? If you let him run free, there's no way that free safety can cover both of them running down the middle of the field. Okay? Hook to flat means you're going to settle in the hook zone, which is at the numbers, which you guys don't have, but the idea is basically 12 yards at the numbers. And then if no one's in your zone, then you can come up and tackle any flat routes that get thrown. You'll notice cover 3 is a very safe coverage. We run cover 3 whenever we're blitzing, whenever we just want to be really safe and just give up underneath routes. We're not playing very aggressive here. And obviously, these 3 guys are my 3 deep safeties, right? Easy enough? Okay.